At the end of the day, there's no awards for hard work.
Yeah.
Name one award that's award for hard work.
The only reward is for outcomes.
Yeah. All that matters in life is the result you produce. Welcome to Entropy. My name's Aman. I'm a YouTuber and entrepreneur.
I'm Aadil. I'm a former quant and current AI engineer.
We're two brothers working in tech and business.
And you're listening to The Entropy Show,
The weekly podcast where we discuss self-improvement,
focus, and the fight against disorder in our lives. This is Entropy.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Entropy. Aadil, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Today's my birthday.
Oh, yeah. What? Happy birthday. I forgot.
Yeah, that's good. Thanks. I just turned 23 today. So what did I do? My girlfriend's parents were visiting, so I kind of like hung out with them. I went to this very famous bakery in San Francisco called Arsicult, and they're known for having really good croissants. So I got a croissant there. It was really good. It was a really nice croissant from there.
I thought you were anti-croissant.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't like actively go and pursue getting a croissant, but like we just went there. So
I remember the first time I showed you what a croissant was.
Yeah,
we were in Europe.
We were in Europe.
Yeah, we were in Europe, and I was on this. I really liked croissants, so I kept getting them in Europe. And then you didn't know what a croissant was. So then I gave it to you, and you took one bite, and you said, I can taste the butter in between the folds of the bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think it's a real food, so I wouldn't actually go seek it out, but we were kind of there, so I ate it.
I think you used to be, like, very stringent about these kind of things back in the day.
Yeah, I was also, like, skinny, though. Like, I also know now that it doesn't really matter. Like, if you eat one croissant in a year, it's not going to make any difference at all. It makes zero difference.
I kind of go back and forth on sugar a little bit sometimes.
You eat sugar?
Not like sugary drinks, but meaning like I ate like a pumpkin loaf at a cafe yesterday.
Dude, you ate a pumpkin loaf at a cafe?
I was kind of sitting there.
That's the kind of thing that we used to do when we were like 14 and 15. Yeah. Then we realized like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what are we used to get brownies and like these loaves and these muffins? Yeah.
I was sitting there and then I saw this really good looking pumpkin loaf and I bought it and ate it.
These things are just like empty calories that are bad for you.
So what I noticed is the first time in recent history I got one of these pastries or something, my brain exploded with dopamine. Same thing when I had ice cream for the first time in like couple. Honestly, I didn't have ice cream for a couple of years really much. And then recently I got really good gelato and then my brain kind of exploded when I ate it. But then the problem with that is that you kind of fall back into a habit again. So then for like a couple weeks, couple months, I would start to go like 1-2 times when I would just walk into cafes or something. I would just go get some like pastry or something. Like maybe like once a week, once every couple of weeks. You kind of like delve into a habit. It's the same thing when you stop lifting. Then when you stop lifting for a few weeks or stop running, then when you're trying to go back, it feels really difficult. So your brain kind of adapts to this new routine.
I don't really eat sugar much unless my girlfriend wants to like go get dessert or something. I'll just kind of tag along. But usually then I don't even eat it. I'll eat like 20% of it and I'll be like, I'm done. But what I have been getting into at work are stroopwafels, actually.
Dude, those are like sugary too.
They have like 3 grams of sugar each, but they're super addicting. So one day I saw a bunch of stroopwafels sitting in one of those drawer containers in the snack section of work. I was like, let me pick one of these up and eat it, right? I was getting a little bit bored sitting at my desk. I was like, I wanted some novelty at work. So I went over and I picked up a stroopwafel and then I ate it and then it tasted so good that I went and ate 2 more.
Wait, okay. How do you know it has 3 grams of sugar? Because ChatGPT says it has about 12 to 18 grams of sugar per waffle.
The brand they have has 3 grams of sugar.
So that's it? 3? You look at the back and it said 3 grams of sugar?
I don't know what else they're putting in there.
Yeah, what are they putting in there to make it so sweet? 3 grams is very light.
That's what it says on the thing.
Yeah.
But then the last week, every day I went to work, I ate like 3-4 stroopwafels every day.
That's good. Let's see what brand has 3 grams of sugar. Yeah, these things you basically fall into a habit very quickly. Like the day you start, you discover stroopwafels, your brain explodes with dopamine, and then pretty soon, like you start eating 3-4 per day, until you make a decision to stop. You recognize I'm having too many stroopwafels. I need to stop now.
Yeah, like it got me like this. Like the first day I ate it, immediately I got addicted. And then I remember I was like sitting at home over the weekend last week, and I was thinking like, why am I like getting agitated? Like I started craving stroopwafels. Like I started getting a little agitated, like sitting there. And then I was thinking I need to like go get a stroopwafel. Like I need to go get some sugar right now or something that tastes like that.
Yeah.
Because my brain and my body already got conditioned to it within 3-4 days of eating it every day.
Yeah, most people they're essentially sugar addicts. They're consuming sugar in these snacks, these treats, these drinks all the time. They get intense sugar cravings. We've had like a few friends over the years who will be at our apartment or my apartment. And then let's say it's evening. This has happened with multiple people. They'll be like, do you have anything sweet? I want something sweet right now. And then they start digging through the pantry and the fridge and realize that there's nothing with sugar in the whole apartment.
Yeah.
And it's like
that was the first time I've experienced that in my life. Like a sugar craving. I've never experienced that. At least like I can't remember experiencing a sugar craving. But last weekend I was sitting there, I was like, I'm craving something sweet. Like I need something sweet. Obviously, I had nothing like that in my apartment. It just kind of went away after like 10, 20 minutes, right?
Yeah. The average person feels that on a regular basis, and they partake every time. What they'll have is they have like Oreos, they have cookies, they have stuff just in their apartment.
The average person will have Oreos and cookies in their apartment.
The average guy has Oreos and cookies in their pantry. Like they go pick the blue thing of Oreos. They go on the couch and they munch down 10, 15 of them.
They munch down 10,
That's pretty normal. That's like pretty common. Like for example, we had friends in high school who every day after school, their mom used to give them a box of chocolate chip cookies and they would finish the whole thing. Every day.
Yeah, one time I went to my friend's house and I opened his pantry. This guy had Oreos, like Chips Ahoy cookies, both the soft and the hard kind as well.
Yeah, like crunchy.
This guy
and
had like
chewy.
Sour Patch Kids. He had like a Reese's. Everything this guy had just sitting there in his pantry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what the average guy lives like.
And what we used to do at his house is we used to eat Oreos and play Xbox.
But I don't. Maybe that wasn't me. That was probably you. I don't remember that.
This is in the.
Oh, is it a? Oh, yeah. He might be listening to this, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, like that was the first time I was like, dude, some guys live like this. Like they just have access to this stuff all the time. And this is their daily routine. Like they sit there, eat Oreos, eat Sour Patch Kids, and play Xbox every day for a few
that used to be their
hours.
daily routine. Actually, he was Muslim, so he would fast in Ramadan, and he would tell us that his like suhoor, like his meal to start before fasting began, was composed of Oreos.
Yeah, I remember that.
You could not come up with a less nutritious meal to have in the morning before you fast the whole day. He would have Oreos and milk.
These are the type of guys, man.
Yeah. There are a lot of people out there. I have friends who they think sugar's not bad for you still. Like it's still not even known that sugar is bad. Like they think it's fine.
I think like if it's a small amount, it probably is fine.
Obviously, I think like a very small amount is fine, but a lot of people like they'll order a Coke at a restaurant. So like you sit down with them, they're like, "Can I get a Sprite?" Like they're not thinking about the sugar content.
Dude, you used to be that guy.
I would not drink full sugar Coke as a kid.
You used to get Sprite.
Yeah, maybe I would drink it as a kid, honestly.
I remember you used to.
Yeah, I used to like Sprite.
You used to get Coke. You used to get Sprite.
Yeah.
I would always tell you like, dude, what are you doing?
This was when I was like 13.
I think you probably stopped around 15, 16.
Yeah.
Stopped.
No, even at like parties, there would be like a thing of like, you know, those big jugs, liter things? Yeah. And like those red cups. And everybody would be pouring their drinks in there and drinking it. But dude, if you're like in your 20s and you're drinking Sprite, like you need to check yourself. Like I'm just, it's one of those things.
What?
Dude, if you're in your 20s and you're drinking full sugary drinks, dude, like, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably on some kind of self-improvement or you care about business or for some reason you're listening to this, right? And if you actually drink sugary drinks, like you need to stop. I don't think there's any reason to not just drink the diet version of them.
Yeah.
All right. Another update. Actually, I wrote something down. It's kind of funny. Well, first let's talk about what we want to do with this podcast. So, obviously we've had like 7 to 9 episodes or something of this podcast, and we've been kind of inconsistent for the past few months, but I think we should set like a resolution to record every 1 to 2 weeks and try to be consistent with it. And there's a couple of reasons why I think we should do that. One is I talked to Taimur Abdal in London like a couple months ago. Him and Ali Abdal, for the listener, ran this podcast called Not Overthinking, which inspired this. And he told me that we should keep it up. Basically, he said...
What was his reason?
His reason was, it makes a good reason to talk to your sibling. which is pretty good. Like it like makes you sit there with your family member and talk, which is good. It's like a nice update. And when you create like another reason was you create a body of work, it's like pretty cool to look back on it. Like even the 7 to 9 episodes we have, it's not like thousands of subscribers, but like each one would get like 1,000 views on it. And like all the comments would be like, I love this, bring it back, keep going, this is awesome. Right? So you kind of see like a body of work in there, which is nice. And crazy enough, I've had people come up to me on the street and tell me they like this podcast.
So they'll recognize you on the street and tell you they like this podcast.
They all say, I listened to your podcast with your brother.
Do they mean like the YouTube one where I talk about quant?
No, they probably like that one, but a couple of guys have said I listened to Entropy.
Like they fully said I listened.
Yeah, 1 to 2, like 2 guys have said the word like I listened.
You told
to
me
that, like,
one guy said he listens to Entropy.
I'm pretty sure there was one more guy who says that they listened to this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, our friend called us and said that he listens to it too.
Who?
Ahmed.
Oh, Ahmed listens. That's good.
Yeah. Ahmed listens to every single episode, and he said he likes it because he's like he likes to keep up with these episodes, right? So basically, what that showed me is there's like a disproportionate impact that this has, like per views and inconsistency compared to anything else I do. Right? In terms of number of people who have said something. Like I think podcasts create a big impact. That episode that we did on my main channel, that the one that's one of the most viewed videos, that has changed hundreds of lives. How? I guarantee you. Like probably 10 to 20 people have told me directly, whether it's on consultation calls, whether it's in my program, that dude, that podcast changed my life. I talked to a guy 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was like, dude, that podcast with your brother last year, that changed my life, man.
But how did it change your life?
It just opened their eyes to like just guys. Like they just didn't realize that they could do like quant or how hard people work or anything like that.
They didn't realize like their mind was expanded. Like they didn't realize like, oh, you can like it's not even just the quant stuff, like the overall like I guess mindset of like getting these internships, achieving these things. Like you can like set these goals and you like figure out how to figure out how to get there, things like that. You know, I think it's just a perspective thing. I think people don't realize that you can, I guess, quote unquote, lock in. Like you can actually sit there and like purposefully do. Like basically, it was just a very interesting story that kind of like changed someone's perspective. I feel like things that often change people's perspective, it's hard to specifically point to what actually changed, right? But something happened. One of those pieces of media for us was when we watched Ali's, Abdal's "How Much Money I Make as a Doctor and YouTuber" in May of 2021. Yeah, I think it was in 2020, I think, actually.
May of 2020.
May of 2020. And he was doing maybe 400 to 500K a year back then. And we were like,
I think he was doing 15 to 20K a month.
I think in total a year he was doing around 400K.
I don't think so. I think it was less. I actually looked at it recently, or last year, because I went on his channel. Because that was the video that changed everything. And I think he said like 15, 20K. Anyway, we can verify that later. But it was nothing insane.
But we were like, wow, this guy's making this much on a side business. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. And he's just casually explained how Skillshare worked, how all these things worked. And we just had no idea that was even a possibility. So anyway, I think that's another reason why I think we should do this is like the disproportionate impact, the body of work. And then it's kind of having like a reason to talk to each other. Oh, one more thing is that like the views are surprisingly high for something we're not like grinding on.
I mean, they get like 700 views each.
Dude, that's a lot for like recording something and putting it there. Like
700 clicks. How many people actually watch over?
A view doesn't count unless it's like 5 minutes or something, or like 3 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a limit. You can't just boom and just leave and it becomes a view. It's like there's some limit there.
Okay.
Yeah, or even 400 or 500 subscribers, right? Or we have more.
We have 434 subscribers.
Dude, that's pretty good.
Dude, it's 400 subscribers.
That's good. That's 400 people who clicked subscribe. Like, that's half our high school, or 1/3 our high school.
I think our high school is 1,400.
So 1/3 our high school.
Yeah, like 28%.
Imagine 1 out of every 3 guys at our high school has clicked subscribe on this podcast.
Okay.
Dude, I don't know. I think you think it's not a big impact. I think it is. I think there's something here. So I think we should keep doing it. So that's kind of my thought. I also think another problem we had was essentially I was kind of overthinking the production quality of this. So basically the problem was that Ali Abdal is this framework called Get Going, Get Good, Get Smart. Yeah. That's his framework when it comes to like, honestly, anything in life, right? Like when you start the gym, you want to, just the most important thing, the first level is just get going. Just show up at the gym and do something, right? Just show up, because if you don't show up, nothing else
Like,
matters.
get in the habit of like showing up, right?
Yeah, get in the habit of showing up. That's the first level of the journey.
If you want to learn something, get in the habit of sitting at your computer and actually reading anything relevant to it for more than 5 minutes without going on TikTok, right?
Yeah, like, well, let's say you want to learn, like, I don't know, math or something. Like, just sit in your chair and open something. Like, it does not matter what. If you're not sitting there and opening it, no progress is going to be made. You can be watching all of the Jeff Nipper and Mike Israetel videos out there. If your feet are not in the gym, you're not going to get jacked, right? So the most important thing is putting yourself in the gym. Then it's get good. So actually, like, learn about, like, how to perform these movements effectively in the gym. Learn how to do all this stuff. Like, learn how to actually do a bench press. Learn how to make a program or workout routine. All this stuff. Then
learn how to like push close to failure.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn how to like calibrate your intensity. Learn how to like eat properly. Like all this stuff.
Yeah, like all this stuff. That's getting good. Then Ollie's framework for how you know you're good is, this is for like content. But if someone else, like if you go with someone else at the gym and you're not kind of embarrassed, you're like, yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing around here. That means like you have like a base level of knowledge. Then it's get smart. And get smart for the gym might be like you're working with a coach now who's like programming your workouts and is like doing like periodization. So there's like a multi-week sequence. It's periodizing certain lifts. You're hitting plateaus. They're programming like a pause bench or something, right, to break through that plateau. Maybe you're competing, right? You're doing like or at least like you're setting a goal of, I want to hit 3 plates of this, 2 plates of this, 4 plates of this, and you're working with a coach. You're taking notes. It's kind of what I would say is called getting smart for that.
You're doing more advanced programming. Like maybe you like turn down the volume on legs and focus on chest for like 2 months or something. Or
yeah,
3
exactly.
months. And then you like flip it, and then you like focus on like quads and hamstrings for like the next 3 months. Like you're doing more like intelligent ways of going about it.
Yeah,
if you're figuring out like what's the kind of intensity you need to like grow fast, but not like overly be fatigued and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And the same thing is for like any kind of content, whether it's YouTube or podcast, right? Get going and just post something. Just post something. Nothing else matters. Get good is, can the thing you post be good enough where you're like not embarrassed for your friends and family to watch it? For example, a good YouTube video would be like, okay, like the title and thumbnail are pretty decent. The quality of the script is pretty good. The edits are nice. The music's nice, right? Let's get good. And then get smart is the overall brand strategy. It's like, who's my audience? Who's my avatar? Who am I talking to? I'm doing market research on other YouTubers, other channels. Maybe I'm managing multiple channels, right? My problem was I was worrying about getting good for this too early before we were just getting going, right? And because I was trying to worry about getting good, I was like investing in like an overpriced editor, and I was like spending too much time kind of thinking about like titles and thumbnails and stuff, when we were kind of not even filling the first quadrant, which is just get going. Nothing matters if you don't post it. So I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to lower the bar enough to like reduce the expenses, reduce my time, just to get an episode out every week. Just so we have
that makes sense. Yeah, I think if there's like at least 10, 20 guys that are, or people that are younger than us and get value out of just listening to us talk, it's probably worth it. Like, think about it. Like, Ollie and Tamer Abdal, they changed our lives, right? Like, listening to Not Overthinking, they're maybe 6 to 8 years older than us. Just listening to their ideas, like how they think about things, the people they listen to, it completely changed the trajectory. Maybe not as much of my life, but completely changed your life trajectory.
Dude,
like
where would I be without them?
Dude, you would be sitting in Wisconsin as a software engineer making like 120K, 130K.
Yeah. Like, without these guys, I would not be anywhere, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that's not anywhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like saying 6 figures is not anywhere.
Yeah. I would be making 130K. That's nothing. That's not anywhere.
Okay, basically, like, I don't think my mindset would be anything special either.
Yeah,
right?
but it's mostly the mindset. Like, the way you approach every aspect of your life changes. It's your perspective completely shifts, right?
Yeah, I would not be on self-improvement at all. Like, it would just not be a thing. I would spend my time, watching movies and TV shows, and like, I would just not be locked in.
Maybe you would still drink Coke at a restaurant.
I would probably still drink Coke, honestly. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I drink Coke? Why wouldn't I? Yeah, no reason. Actually, I think my health journey was independent of Ali and Tamer Abdal.
It was spawned out of this like genesis of listening to these like ideas and like these people that we started listening to. Right.
I think I started Why We Sleep before I discovered Ali Abdal.
Sure, but it's all related.
Yeah, it's all kind of interconnected.
Yeah.
I wouldn't listen to podcasts.
I get emails once in a while from the podcast on your YouTube channel, like people just asking me for help and stuff. I got this email from this high schooler I think he's from Michigan. He was like, hey, like, can I just call you? Like, I'm really interested in quant. I really like math. Like, can I just call you and ask you for advice? I actually ended up calling him and like, I guess I gave him whatever advice I had. But it does help like people that are younger than you, like maybe 2 to 5 years younger than you, who are like starting to go through what you just went through to like understand your perspective after you've gone through it, right?
Yeah. There's something special about just a conversational format. And they created a huge impact in our lives. I can feel that impact being created on other people in the comments, people who have talked to us and told us that this episode is good, this podcast is good and stuff. So I think we should keep doing it. So the plan going forward is to focus just on consistency, and then down the line, once the money comes, if it comes, then we'll start to like reinvest. But I'm just gonna kind of lower the bar to make it as cheap as possible and just put it out. So another thing I wanted to talk about, which I forgot to mention, is the downfall of Mike Israetel.
Yeah, the downfall of Mike Israetel.
It's called the Israetel Files.
Yeah.
So do you want to kind of explain, like, because I think I have a different opinion on this than you, but do you want to kind of give some background on who Mike Israetel is and what happened?
So Mike Israetel is probably one of the biggest fitness YouTubers. And his whole brand is that he's Dr. Mike Israetel, right? His brand is a couple of things. One, he has a PhD and he knows what he's talking about. He's a scientist, right? Around exercise science, around building muscle, lifting weights, sports science. Two, his brand is also around being funny. So most of his YouTube videos, like he'll make kind of dry jokes here and there. I would say those are the two biggest things of his brand. And three, like he's very like unique looking. Like he kind of looks like a little bit like a Ninja Turtle. Like he's like 5'6", he's bald, but he's probably 230, 240 pounds. Right?
Yeah, his gut kind of sticks out too.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've been watching Mike Israetel for probably a good 2 years at this point, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit less. And I always enjoyed his content. Maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I'm scrolling on YouTube. I see something come on my recommended by this guy named Solomon Nelson. And it was, what is this video called? Let's see.
It's called like Mike Israetel's PhD is the biggest academic sham in fitness or something.
Mike Israetel's PhD : the biggest academic sham in fitness.
Yeah.
It's a 70-minute video where he downloads his PhD and just goes through and shows how unbelievably bad Mike Israetel's PhD is. The TLDR is that the PhD it looks like it was written by like a 10-year-old, right? Like, it's like there's like entire sections that are copy pasted, hundreds upon hundreds of typos. The data is wrong. The data, like the mean will be copy pasted into the standard deviations. Like the conclusions are, very, very obvious. Obviously, I'm not a scientist, so I don't know like if his conclusions are good or not. But the language is like very hard to understand and overly like, what's the word? Use a lot of jargon unnecessarily. And like a lot of it doesn't make any sense, right? That's the TLDR. So I was like following this. I was like, wow, this is actually pretty funny that like Mike Israetel says like, Mike Israetel also goes on podcasts and says that I'm the smartest coach that there is in the world. Like I'm smarter than I think every coach. Like he literally says that, right?
He said that on Brian Johnson's podcast. Yeah. He's sitting like this in his office is in his gym. And he's sitting there so like, I'm smarter than every coach.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, your PhD looks like it was written by an 11-year-old. Like, what are you talking about? So, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think Mike Israetel probably is somewhat accurate. His accuracy on his content is probably a good 70, 80%, right? And I didn't watch his content to get information. I had enough information about the gym. Honestly, in the gym, all you need to do is figure out what intensity works for you, what exercises work for you, and just eat properly and just go, and you'll grow muscle, okay? You don't need all these like complicated things. So I just used to watch him out of fun. Like it was entertainment content for me because I thought it was funny. At the same time, like my eyes kind of opened to these kind of grifter guys, which obviously I knew grift is a huge thing in the world anyway, but I didn't realize Mike Israetel was also somewhat of a grifter. Because my definition of a grifter is someone that claims to be someone that they're not, or to be something that they really aren't, right? And this is clearly true, in my opinion, with Mike Israetel. Like he claims like he's so intelligent. He's like the world's leading expert or one of the leading experts around exercise science. Yet his PhD is like comically bad, right? And then even further, what actually happened in the drama is that him and Mike Israetel and one of his friends made a rebuttal video saying that it was actually a rough draft. And that wasn't the final copy. But then they took it back like 3 or 4 days later. They're like, actually, guys, they produced the final copy is like, this is the actual final copy. Then 3-4 days later, like, actually, that was the final copy. So then, I don't know, like, they forged a final copy and claimed it was the final copy. I don't know what happened there. But overall, I kind of like lost respect for Mike Israetel a little bit after like all of these things, especially when he like, my impression is that he tried to lie about this being a draft, and then people were like, dude, this is nonsense, and then he like took it back. So
Yeah, and now there's the Nipstein files.
yeah. Anyway, what are your thoughts on
kind
this?
of against Jeff Nippard. So my thoughts are, I looked up the definition of a grifter. I think I actually disagree with you on what a grifter is. You see the word grifter to mean someone who kind of pretends to be better than they are. But the actual definition of a grifter is someone who deceives or manipulates others for personal gain through lies, scams, or emotional manipulation. And I see a grifter, like I think V-Shred is a grifter. You know V-Shred?
Yeah.
Yeah, V-Shred is a grifter. Like, his information is wrong. It's just flat out wrong. He sells $5,000, $10,000 programs. He runs Facebook ads to like people who are outside of the fitness industry. So they have no way to verify these claims that he's making or anything like that. So I think that guy's a grifter, genuinely. Like, I think V-Shred is a grifter. I think there's a lot of other people who are grifters out there. But specifically, like, I don't think Mike Israetel is actually a grifter. I think that the thing is that about a lot of people who are just online in general is that they're marketers. And their skill is not 100% the skill itself, right? Like, a lot of people in the education niche on social media, which is like Mike Israetel and even Ali Abdaal, right? Like, I'll use Ali Abdaal as an example. His claim to fame was, I was a doctor. I did really well at Cambridge. I'm going to explain this there, quote unquote, #1 at Cambridge, right? And I built a whole brand off of that. Here are my study techniques. The study techniques themselves are great, right? Like, it's active recall, it's spaced repetition, all of it makes sense, it's all very useful. But if you actually double click on the claim to fame, the ethos there, #1 at Cambridge, he tied for #1 in one psychology class, right? Now, I'm not saying that I think Ali Abdaal is amazing. I think his content is great. He's inspired me. I think he's a friend of mine. I think he's awesome. But I think, like, this is just an example of someone who's a creator, a marketer, who has some good perspective, good ethos, good takes, good advice, but kind of like inflates their background a little bit to fit the marketing angle. Another example is Alex Hormozi is the exact same thing, right? Like, he has some really good advice. His advice is great. His books are amazing. He's definitely like has equity in companies that are worth at least 50, 60, 70 million, maybe even $100 million or more, right? But it's unclear whether he's like worth 500 million or 600 million. If you actually dive into like some of his background with this software company, Allen, Gym Launch, there's some murky stuff there about like whether some of it's legit, some of it's not, right? Some of it's overhyped. So at the end of the day, my take on this is that almost anybody who's successful in social media, right, is usually not the #1 expert in their field, right? Like, name one guy who's truly the #1 expert, who has the time to go on social media and build a brand. They don't.
It's not that they have to be the #1 expert. They're grossly exaggerating their own qualifications and competence, especially Mike Israetel, right? Like, it's such an exaggeration that it seems like a joke, right? For him to genuinely sit there and be like, I think I'm the smartest coach in the world, but he can't even write like 2 sentences that make any sense. His PhD thesis, okay? It sounds like a joke, right?
I also think my question is like, how did that even pass, right? Because that is a problem with the university, not with Mike Israetel, right? Like, that should not have passed as a PhD, right? There's spelling mistakes and stuff in there. So I don't know. I think like, it speaks to. I think I've seen some other reactions and takes where people are talking about this is not Mike Israetel problem. This is just exercise science as kind of a sham field in general that has this like issue. Because like, if you look at like research papers in biochemistry, right, or like neuroscience, they don't have these same issues, right? Yeah. So I just think obviously neither of us are like exercise scientists or PhDs or anything, but I don't think, basically my take on this is that sure, maybe he's like overblowing his raw intellect or something, but I think
he's completely exaggerating his competence and uses that ethos to like argue his points and argue that he is correct over other people. Like, there are clips in Solomon Nelson's video about Mike Israetel saying that I'm right because I know what I'm talking about, because I'm the smartest coach. Right?
So yeah, I think I can't verify. I didn't watch the whole video. I agree. Like, statements like that don't really make sense, right? Like, using your own, I am the smartest, so therefore I'm right. Like, that is not a good argument. But I've listened to probably 5 to 10 plus hours of Mike Israetel. Like, I've listened to all 4 Chris Williamson episodes where he's on there. I've watched many of his solo videos. I've seen multiple. He was on Dr. Mike's, the other Dr. Mike's podcast. That was really good. He was on Brian Johnson's podcast. That was really good. So I've listened to at least 10 hours of this guy talk. And I think about 95% of what he says makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
So I take that as the more stamp of authority. Like, I don't really care. Like, obviously, it's like kind of it's a little bit disappointing to see that this, but who cares about some document that's a PhD thesis, right? If 95 to 99% of what he says in general makes sense, checks out, he's clearly intelligent. He clearly knows what he's talking about for the most part. Otherwise, like, dude, someone who's like an idiot cannot go there for 10 hours on all these different shows, say all of his takes that make sense, and just be like a complete idiot. I think he has dyslexia or something.
Okay, sure. But I agree, like, at the end of the day, like, the end result for the listener is like, okay, I mean, what he says generally makes sense, so there's no effect. But I think that people are swayed by ethos a lot of the time. I am swayed by ethos. I was swayed by Mike Israetel's takes about AI. He has all these videos about how he thinks like AI is going to like essentially take over in the next 10, 20 years, right? And I was like, well, this guy's a smart guy. Like, this seems well thought out. Like, that changes like my perception at least a little bit, right? But now I'm like, maybe I need to like actually think through from first principles about what he says now, right? Because his ethos has like decreased for me.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it's gone to 0, and now it's purely about the argument.
Well,
right?
Here's the thing, right? Like, it's not gone to 0, right? Like, just because his PhD thesis isn't good doesn't mean that his app is actually great. I've been using his app to train for the past 2 months. It's a great app. It's the best exercise app I've ever used. It's incredibly well done. It's a good app. Everything checks out with how it's made and everything. Like, all of his advice, all of his exercise advice, from someone who's watched this stuff for 5 years, it all seems to make sense. Everything he's saying, right? So, like, I agree that, like, maybe his ethos is slightly less, but, like, that to me is his ethos, not, like, some random PhD document, right?
It's also the ethos of claiming to be 10 times more competent than you actually are, right? Or 100 times, orders of magnitude more competent, right?
I'm like looking up what this term is. I feel like this is a great insult to you in general.
What?
Meaning like you really don't like it when someone claims to be more smart than they are.
Not smart, more smart. It's there's like levels to it. Like, if you're like claiming to be within some reasonable like level, then it's fine. But if you're going to claim you're literally number 1 right in the world when clearly you're not, then it's like, it's a gross exaggeration, right?
Yeah. So I actually think the reaction is slightly overblown, to be honest. I also think Solomon's kind of a grifter too.
Oh, he is?
Because, dude, he's like what are the Nipstein files, man? Like, I think he's like, I think there's a whole brand on YouTube of like the guy who takes other people down. Like, there's a YouTuber called D'Angelo Wallace. Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him, yeah.
He's the guy who broke the Cody Ko case.
He did?
Yeah, in like June of 2024 or something. Like, this is the guy who broke the news about Cody Ko, right? Well, we're not going to explain it, but Cody Ko's a big YouTuber. There's some big drama about him. He was like, quote unquote, canceled. He took a break off the platform. Now he's back, whatever, right? But this is the guy. His whole niche is like canceling other people. Like, he'll like find some guy who's not been exposed, do like 4 months of research into them, come make a whole story arc, and then blow it up, and it gets millions of views because people like drama. But it's just negativity, right? Like, I think Solomon is making money off of the downfall of Mike Israetel, right?
Correct. At the same time, I think it is like, I think it's fine. Like, if this is such like a huge exaggeration, like, it's not. I think it's fine for him to like go over his PhD. I think the Nipstein files, it seemed like Solomon was just kind of pissed off that Jeff Nippard wrote some like a few mean comments on Instagram.
The Nipstein files.
So that his whole thing with the Nipstein files is that Jeff Nippard wrote a few mean comments about him and then claimed that, I don't know if he said that he never worked with him, but Solomon like did a few consulting projects with him, and he was pissed that Jeff Nippard said that he never worked with Solomon or something like that. Yeah. And then Jeff Nippard like deleted a comment on one of his YouTube videos and lied about it. That was like the whole thing.
Yeah, it's basically nothing. It's just he just made something out of nothing because he thought it would be good for the plot to have like the like, for example, the top comment on that video was, "Sir, another plane has hit the other science-based YouTuber."
Yeah.
Yeah, like basically just a meme about like these are the two science-based lifters, right? It's Mike Israetel and Jeff Nipper. They're best buds too. They like keep doing collaboration videos back and forth. They always talk about each other. There's a clip of Mike Israetel being asked, "Are you the greatest science-based lifter?" And he says like, "No, Jeff Nipper deserves that title." Like these guys are like best buds, right? Yeah. Mike Israetel and Jeff Nipper. So yeah, I think the drama is kind of like overhyped. I also think Greg Doucette's reaction is really funny. Like he's making daily videos about these guys.
Dude, Greg Doucette is like unbearable for me to listen to, honestly. Dude, it's so stupid.
Greg Doucette.
He's like screaming the whole time, and he's saying like all like monkey things. He's saying like useless things. Like,
okay,
like low.
I will
like,
say,
low,
you should listen to Greg Doucette on the Iced Coffee Hour. So this is a character he's playing on his YouTube channel. Like when you listen to him on the Iced Coffee Hour, he's sitting there in a button-down shirt, and he actually sounds really intelligent. Dude, he's a really nice speaker in the Iced Coffee Hour. Yeah, Greg Doucette. Like he also plays into the drama too. Like all the comments in Greg Doucette's videos are like, "Dude, this drama is gonna make Greg Doucette a billionaire." Like, yeah. Like he's kind of sitting there. He has like popcorn in his videos, and he's like chewing it as he's like reading about the Solomon stuff. Also, him and Mike Israetel had beef as well back in the day. That they quashed the beef 6 months ago. Yeah, all this lifting stuff. Anyway, yeah, I just thought it was interesting to kind of see, like, I care more about logos, you care more about ethos.
I don't care more about ethos, but ethos does have an impact for me. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's like less impactful. I don't really care. Like, I just care about it less. Yeah, I'm into logos. So another thing I wanted to mention here, if you don't have any other thoughts on this, there's like 2 other updates. I'm starting saxophone again. So for context for the listener here, Aadil, obviously you know this. We were in band as a kid. So I played saxophone in high school. Aadil played percussion. We were like very musically gifted kids. And I think it was just a natural inclination. Like were drawn. I remember the first day I found out that we could play the cello in school. Like the orchestra teacher showed up in our 4th grade class, pulled out 3-4 different instruments, violin, viola, cello. I don't know if the bass was there or not. And then just showed us that you're allowed to touch these things. And my first thought was, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Just being able to touch these instruments and play this stuff. That's the same thing I felt in band. I actually picked cello because our friend Keshav said, you should do cello because then you can leave it at the school. He said, do cello because that cello's at the school.
I think I remember him saying that. That was the reason.
He said that. He said, you should do cello because you can leave it at the school. Whereas like all the violins have to bring it back and forth every day.
Yeah. But then you realize when you're older, you still have to end up bringing it back and forth.
Dude, it's way worse. Bigger. You have to bring your cello, you have to lug this big, good cello around. It's way 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I thought it was good to play big instruments. That was just like my personality back then. So music's been a big part of our life. And I played saxophone throughout high school. It was my main activity in high school, one of them at least. But once COVID happened, I played in my freshman year of college. I was in the band. It was pretty good. But COVID happened, and I kind of quit at that point. Like, I couldn't do band. There's no reason to play the saxophone. I actually picked up singing. We both picked up singing for several years at that point. We can talk about that arc as well at this point. But saxophone lay dormant. And then our house burned down, actually, like last year in January 2024. And at that point, I thought the saxophone's gone. Like, it was in the house. It's completely gone. Like, what are we supposed to do? So we were in January of 2024. We were looking like, okay, what's left in the rubble? Like a couple weeks later, what can we what survived? And I went to the ruins of my room. Like the whole house collapsed. There's ash everywhere. Then I kicked this mound of ash, and it was like a hard thump. And then I pulled it out, and my saxophone was completely intact.
Yes.
In fact, my alto saxophone, the one in the rubble, was in better condition than the tenor saxophone that was at our little brother's apartment in Iowa City.
Wow.
So that was kind of miraculous. So anyway, all that to being said, recently in my life, just something drew me more towards, I went to a few jazz clubs in a city I was visiting. And I was just very inspired by how much I used to love jazz, how much I used to love saxophone. And I realized like, dude, there doesn't have to be a reason to do something. Like, might as well just start it. I think it's cool if I like it. And also, I've already surpassed 6 years of the learning curve on saxophone. Right? Like for a skill to get to the point where you've spent 5-6 years on it, that's pretty difficult to get to that point. And I've already done that legwork for saxophone. In fact, I've been playing it for the past few weeks. I fully thought I'm not going to be able to make a sound on this thing. It's been 3-4 years since I've even touched it. Wait, no. Yeah, 5 years. 5 years since I've touched this instrument. I cannot even make a sound on it. But I played it and it was like 80% as good. 75, 80% as good. And I've been practicing and I'm like getting back. Not obviously as good as I was, but maybe like 80%, 85% as good as I was back in the day. So that's the main reason I want to start again, is because I love jazz. I think it's really good. And I've already surpassed the learning curve on this thing, so might as well just like get good at it.
Are you taking lessons now?
Yeah, so my saxophones are kind of messed up. So the alto is better than the tenor, but the tenor is completely messed up. And tenor's better for jazz. So it's in the saxophone repair shop right now. So they're fixing it. But I'm going to start taking lessons.
Why do you want to do jazz specifically?
I think it's
saxophone.
good.
That's like the main thing.
Yeah, it's the main thing. There's no classical saxophone. Yeah. Classical saxophone's completely useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like it. Like I went to a jazz club last night again. It's just really good. Like it's just something I like. I also think because my business is, I've been able to set up my business where I have like 10, 15 employees who are handling pretty much, is an owner for almost everything in the business now. I have like more free time. So naturally hobbies start to come in when you buy back your time. So that's another reason why I want to do it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how these, like, when you're a kid, like these, they're basically arbitrary reasons for making somewhat life-changing decisions, right? Like the instrument we picked kind of, it was a good maybe 20 to 30% of our like mental effort / focus for the next 6 years in band, right? I would say like in school, both of us probably put 80% effort, like of our total effort, into like academics. I was doing like a lot of math and science stuff. Aman was also on science pool team. And like probably like 20% into band. Like band was a huge
honestly,
part.
For me, it was like 30, 40% into band.
Yeah, but maybe even more.
Yeah, honestly. It was a main thing. Like I don't remember, I did not like compete for like physics or anything. Like we did science pool. That was one of the main things.
Maybe for you, 30, 40%. For me, like 20, maybe 25%.
But the amount of time you sunk into percussion, like you would practice for hours on the percussion.
Yeah, so there's arbitrary reasons. Like you're like Keshav, some guy was like 1 year ahead of you, right? He was like, "Oh, choose cello. You can leave it at this," which isn't even right. Like it's bigger.
Yeah, it's bad. It doesn't make any sense.
Carry it around. It doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah. Wait. So why did you pick percussion?
So Aman chose cello, and I don't remember picking cello, but I just ended up doing cello. I don't know.
Yeah. How. Why did you play cello?
Yeah. I don't remember how I picked cello, but I just, one day I was doing cello as well with Aman, right?
Yeah.
And before that, we all three had done piano as well, but none of us ever practiced piano, so we never even got good at piano. Same thing with cello. Like we would show up to the lesson, and maybe sometimes we would practice 30 minutes before a lesson when the other one was going for cello.
Yeah. We would fight over who would go second, so we could practice before a lesson for 30 minutes.
Yeah. And then we wouldn't practice at all at home. But anyway, so both Aman and I played cello. We both kind of stopped piano around when we were in like 8th grade, 9th grade. And then I kind of played piano on the side here and there. But we used to do a lot of cello stuff. We used to be in something called YSO, which is like Youth Symphony Orchestra. And every Sunday, we would drive 30, 40 minutes to like a local college to go sit there in YSO for a good 2.5, 3 hour rehearsal. And then drive 30 minutes back. So the commitment to YSO was 4 hours.
It was a 4-hour commitment every week to this
every
Youth
Sunday
Symphony Orchestra.
Night. I remember every Sunday I would look at the clock and dread going to YSO. Yeah. And we were in like the youth orchestra for, I think, since I was in 7th or 8th grade until the end of, I was in 10th grade, 3-4 years.
I started in 7th grade. So 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th for me, 5 years.
Yeah, you were 5 years. I was maybe 3-4 years I was in it.
Yeah.
I think 4. And then one day I realized I don't have to go. I asked my parents to stop and we just stopped. That was such a good decision to quit. I remember being so much happier when I was in 12th grade when I was not in YSO. Yeah,
dude,
YSO was
what
like
a waste.
The bane of the Sunday. Yeah. Like completely destroyed.
Literally the whole weekend was ruined because we were thinking about YSO. Honestly. Yeah. If I were to go, I actually thought about this recently. If I were to go back, I would just quit. I would just quit cello. Don't even do cello. Just do another saxophone lesson in the week. Do 2 saxophone lessons in the week and just practice. Right? Like, why am I doing something I don't even like to do? There's literally no value in it at all.
There's zero value. You're just burning your time.
You're burning your time
and making yourself feel bad.
Yeah.
In YSO, so Aman and I were in YSO for, I think, 2 years together. And we both, I don't know, honestly, the cello is a pretty cool instrument. If you actually practice,
it's a good instrument.
Good. It's a very beautiful instrument, right? But I don't think Aman and I even had the mindset of realizing we could practice, get better, and enjoy it. We just hated showing up to YSO.
No, we hated YSO. We hated the instrument. We didn't like it at all.
Yeah, and then
it was not for us.
What would happen is that every seating audition, because they have auditions to like seat you per concert, it would be me versus Aman as who is fighting over second to last and last chair.
We would be at war to see who's going to be last and second to last because we were that bad at the instrument by that point.
And I think one time Aman got like 2 chairs ahead of me. I was last chair or something like that.
I think back in the day,
third to last, I was last.
Yeah. Why didn't you just do percussion in YSO?
I did for, I think, a semester. I eventually did for a semester.
Yeah. That must have been a lot better.
But even then, I was like, that was better, but even then, I wasn't.
You just didn't like YSO as a concept.
Yeah. Because think about it. You're a kid, like, you have to drive. It's a 4-hour commitment to sit there in rehearsal. And the thing about rehearsals is that half the time, the conductor is like only working with a specific section, right?
Yeah.
So you're literally just sitting there, just waiting. And you can't go on your phone, right? Like, they don't allow you to do stuff like that, right? But anyway, so both Aman and I did piano and cello. And then I picked up percussion in 6th grade. I think the reasoning was my mom thought I was a little bit like hyper, right? Like I kept, there was a story apparently in 4th or 5th grade that I wouldn't be able to sit in my chair in the class. Like I would just stand up the whole time. Like I would just sit down and I would stand up. And I kept tapping my fingers on the desk. So I think my mom thought I was hyper. So that she just said, okay, you should do percussion because you're hyper. You can like
because you're kind of like waving your arms around. So you should you're just ADHD, so just do percussion now.
Yeah, just could hit things, you know?
Yeah, just hit things.
Yeah.
I remember thinking you should do percussion because you're bony and it looks like a stick.
Yeah, dude, what?
Yeah. Dude, that was just my perspective back then. I was like, he should do that. Makes sense why he's doing percussion.
Anyway, so I did percussion for 6 years. I think I never even had private lessons until 9th grade. But so 6th grade through 8th grade, I didn't put that much time. I had few private lessons in 8th grade. Because we had the band teacher come to our house and he was trying to teach me drum set, but I just stopped for some reason. I guess
you didn't care about drum set for some reason.
Yeah, so that was like I had a few drum set lessons. But then in 9th grade, so we had this teacher called Mr. Foster in the high school for percussion. And he was essentially the best percussion teacher in the state. So I started taking lessons with him. And then I started getting to like the competitive side of music. So both of us were really, and our younger brother as well, we were really into like competitive music in high school, which is why we're saying it was like such a huge commitment to us. So the main thing was all-state. Every year there were these all-state auditions and we would practice. I guess we didn't actually practice until like the later years. But all-state was a huge deal for our high school. Like I remember thinking like I was in 9th grade and I think Mr. Foster told me like, oh, you can go out for all-state next year. You're not ready yet. I was thinking like, dude, next year, like I'm coming for all-state. So yeah, we both spent a lot of time practicing. I remember I really started grinding on percussion end of 10th grade into 11th grade for all-state. I started practicing so much that my hands started bleeding. Right? I started practicing 4-mallet and marimba so much that I developed calluses and my hands would bleed. I kept practicing. But it's very interesting that these decisions are somewhat arbitrary. Like I chose percussion because my mom said you run around a lot. You like keep waving your arms. So you should choose percussion. Right? And the end result is that I haven't touched a marimba in 5-6 years. Right? And I have not used the skill whatsoever. 0.
Yeah. You've sung hundreds, maybe thousands of hours into something you haven't used in 6 years.
Thousands
of hours.
Every day you're going to band class playing percussion.
Yeah. So think about it this way as well. Actually, the reason why I started saxophone was because I thought metal instruments are better. Like I just think they're cool if it's metal. So then we have brass saxophones where the clarinet's out the window, right? So it's like
I remember you saying like wood instruments like clarinet, flute. Those are kind of
lame.
Like that's
it's kind of lame. Even though flute is metal, I just didn't realize that back then. I was just kind of lame, right? I want a metal instrument for guys. But for brass instruments, you have to buzz your lips. So I thought that was weird. And I was like, saxophone's the only instrument you can blow into properly, but it's also made of metal. So I'm picking this one now.
Yeah.
And then between alto and tenor, I picked tenor because the bigger one's better.
Yeah.
Just completely random. Like that was my logical deduction back then. No proper thought towards it. It was just random.
Yeah. I don't think I even thought, like, I guess my mom told me I'm doing percussion. I guess I'm doing percussion now.
I'm doing percussion. I think parents and kids could do better to like think, what is going to actually be valuable as this person matures, right? Like what skill, which one of these instruments, what can we do that's going to be valuable in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, right? Rather than just picking some either complete random and just giving it to a kid, right?
Yeah. Like now, since I know more about music, why would you choose percussion? It's not like a practical instrument. You need to be in a concert band to play the marimba.
Right.
Right.
It's a completely useless instrument.
Like Aman and I and our brother as well, we have a lot of conversations about like what instrument is best, right? We have conversations about, and the four we've kind of arrived at, obviously you guys kind of disagree. For some reason, you guys always put saxophone up there, which I disagree with. I think you're biased. But I think the top four instruments in terms of versatility, and if you had to pick one or a few, what would you learn in what order? I think number one is singing. Like hands down is singing. You don't need to carry the instrument anywhere.
Yeah,
it's
you are the
instrument. You are the instrument. It's the most versatile instrument out of any music type in modern history that anyone listens to. There's usually vocals, right? So I think number one is singing. 2 through 4 can go like in the order either way, but I would say 2 through 4 are keys / piano, guitar, and drum set. Because these are the most versatile instruments. These are the building blocks of almost any modern music has these 4 instruments or mostly has these 4 instruments.
So I agree with you that those are the 4. I would say that 1 is singing, 2 is piano, and then I actually think guitar is 3 and drum set's 4. That's my opinion on this. I think piano is actually better than drum set and guitar because if you can play the piano very well, it's incredibly versatile. Not just for like performing pop and whatever modern music is. You become a better musician if you can play the piano. And the same reason why like anybody who does music school, they make them learn the piano. Like you're supposed to learn the piano if you just want to be a musician. It's a very fundamental instrument for pretty much anything, right? Teaching, it just teaches you a lot about music in general. So I think it's also better than guitar. Like if I could learn piano versus guitar and perform with singing, I think playing piano and singing is cooler than playing guitar and singing. That's just my opinion.
Piano is kind of like if you go learn any type of engineering, physics, you have to like get a decent level of math first, right? Piano's kind of like
piano's like math for music. Yeah. And then you put drum set there. I think drum set's like I agree it's in the 4, but I will say like I think it's below piano and guitar. Right? No one is singing and just hitting the drums except for Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the only guy. Like it's not a thing, like playing the drum set and singing. But I would say if you had to pick a 5th, it would be saxophone.
Yeah, I think the 5th is where it gets kind of debatable.
Like, dude, what else is better than saxophone? Like, I think saxophone is the best 5th item.
Let me think. What is better than saxophone for 5th? I think electric bass could be up there for 5th.
Yeah, bass could be up there. Fine.
I think electric bass could be up there for 5th. I think the main contender would be electric bass in my mind for 5th.
Yeah, so it's just bass v saxophone.
Yeah.
At that point. But that's it. There's nothing else like...
In terms of versatility, like what instrument would you choose to enjoy for the rest of your life, right? What would give you the most happiness, right?
It sure as hell is not going to be the clarinet.
It's not concert marimba, 4-mallet marimba. Like where can you use that, right? How can you enjoy that, right? So I think, I would say like electric bass, probably up there.
Yeah. So I think the larger lesson is like when you do things, think about like what is actually going to be useful in the long run. I think this is why so many people are drawn towards fitness as an activity. Like the hobby of going to the gym is significantly more popular than any other hobby out there, right? Like what hobby is more popular than going to the gym? Like no music is more popular than going to the gym. Like painting is not as popular. Everybody either goes to the gym or wants to go to the gym because the benefits are so universal from a hobby, right? It's so fundamental that people don't even consider it a hobby. It's like you work, you go to the gym, you spend time with friends and family, and then a hobby is anything else you do, right?
Yeah. But anyway, it's just very interesting that we know so much more now. And like if we had kids, we wouldn't make them do percussion or cello. Like, okay, maybe if you get really into it, you can really enjoy that because you can play really nice solo cello.
Yeah.
That's another factor that we're kind of putting in this, like how good is the instrument to play solo, right? But like I wouldn't put my kid in percussion, concert percussion. It's not useful, right?
Yeah,
you
like
want to think long term. Yeah, but we just didn't have that information of what would be the best decision long term. We didn't even have that capacity of thinking about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like when we were 10, we didn't think, oh, I'm going to be spending 6 years day in, day out playing this instrument, right? 1.5 hours every day of high school and band, practicing by myself for these competitions, like I want to actually think about what instrument do I want to play for the rest of my life.
It's just really thinking for the long term. So the real question is, how can we apply that mindset going forward? Right? Like, what are decisions we're making today that we can take a lens from 5, 10, 15 years forward from now and then optimize for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't know what decisions there are that we're making today. I think where you live is a big one.
Yeah, I mean, Naval's big 3 is your relationship, your career, and where you live. So.
Yeah, those are the big 3 ones. I also think hobbies tend to float back in once you buy back your time, meaning like you run a business, you control your own schedule, you've outsourced daily living. I've outsourced all my cooking, all my cleaning, all my laundry, all of that is outsourced, all my travel. So now when it hits, and I go to the gym every morning. So when I finish my work by 6, 7 p.m., I have nothing to do in the evening. So because of that, I'm going to start playing the saxophone again. So I think it's pretty good. Nice. Another update is I've launched a business YouTube channel. It's called Lift Off with Aman and Manazir. It's kind of a replay on the old brand I use for my other podcast, but it's a new channel. So it'll be in the link in the description if you're interested in hearing more about business, entrepreneurship. The whole idea is we help people who are stuck in a 9-to-5 job achieve escape velocity, which means you make enough from a business to cover your base expenses so you can quit your job, so you can live life on your own terms. So that's the whole idea, is like helping people do what I've done over the past 18 months with creating your own business. And it's going to be a podcast, so it's focused on interviews, but I'm also going to post like solo videos, kind of breaking down my ideas there. There's going to be clips on there. It's also another reason why is because I'm a little bit distant from software engineering now. Like I still make software engineering videos. They're pretty good. We still coach people. We still get people into jobs into tech every week. But me personally, I'm not doing anything related to software engineering. My life is all business focused. So it's a play to build authority in the space of business, right? Because I already have authority in software engineering. That's staying there, right? I'm just milking that right now. But I want to ideally like build this authority in the world of business. And the reason why I'm doing a podcast is because it allows you to have a platform where you can connect with other individuals, which is incredibly powerful. So that's my update. I'm launching this business channel. All right, do you want to talk about our final topic for today, which is...
Sure. So the final topic that I thought we should talk about today is that both Aman and I are balding. Why don't I explain when I first realized I was balding?
I think I realized before you.
It was with Aman, actually.
Okay, let me tell you how I realized I was balding, because it came before you realized. What happened was I was in my office as a software engineer a few years ago, and my friends were there helping me record B-roll of me coding, working. And there was a back angle shot of the back of my head. And there was like not like an actual bald spot, but the hair was very thin at the top, at the crown. So much so that I could just see my scalp at the crown. It was just incredibly thin. And I saw that in the B-roll, and they were like, wait, dude, you might be like, hair might be thinning. I was like, no, what the heck? I've never seen that before. So then I saw that. Then my mom, a few weeks later, just looked at me when I was sitting down and she said, "You're balding." Yeah, I was 22, 23 at this time.
You were like 21, 22.
I was 22 because I graduated college. Yeah, I maybe just turned 22, yeah. We had friends who were balding. Like we knew a couple of guys who were like receding hairlines and stuff. We had like family members who were balding. But I just didn't know it could happen to me at all. So that's how I realized. And then I think when Aadil realized was in March of 2024, what happened was I quit my software engineering job and flew to Berkeley to record our seminal episode, which is like one of the most popular episodes on my channel. That's where I also interviewed Aadil's friend Sunny and some other guys like that week, right? Actually, I interviewed Enzo and Akash, 2 other guys that week. Yeah. And then, but I remember that week I was telling Aadil that I'm balding, let me look at your hair. And then I looked at your hair, and you can take it from here.
Yeah, so I put my head down, and Aman looked at it. He took a picture of it like this. And I looked at the top of my head, and it looked like you could see my scalp. Like it was thin. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'm balding. Like that was the first time I realized I was balding. I think you started like doing aggressive treatment, right? When you realized you were balding?
So what happened was, first of all, I kind of knew you were probably balding because like, first of all, I feel like me and you are pretty similar genetically. Like we're both like the same height. We both have nice beard genetics, right? Like we're kind of, obviously we're different, but like our younger brother Arsh is very different genetically than us in terms of his physical features, right? in terms of like just the way.
Yeah,
that
we
manifests.
both also have like big noses and stuff. And Art
Yeah,
doesn't
we have
a
big noses.
nose.
We've got like good facial
Yeah.
hair, right? Like we're both the same
Yeah.
height or similar heights, right? So that happened. I didn't really start super aggressive treatment. I started like maybe topical minoxidil. Yeah, I started like topical. I started watching More Plates, More Dates videos on balding, and I immediately started topical minoxidil and then microneedling. But to be honest, microneedling, like, dude, your head bleeds. Like, I could never be consistent with microneedling, honestly. Like, I did minoxidil for a while. Then I switched to topical finasteride minoxidil gel. And that kind of like slowed it down a little bit. I was using that for like a couple months. My mom would look at it every 3 to 6 months and be like, it's not getting that much worse. But then I went to a dermatologist recently, maybe 6 months ago, and she said it has actually gotten worse, even with a topical gel. Like, it's gotten slightly worse. So at that point, I switched to oral minoxidil, and then that was going fine. I was doing that. And then I went to another dermatologist, and she was like, yeah, it's not, like, it's okay. Like, it's not much worse, but I think it could be even better. And she recommended I switch to oral finasteride. So then I was telling her, like, could I just get away with minoxidil? And she said, one big thing when it comes to balding is that you want to start before it gets bad. If you don't want to wait till the point where you realize you have to start treating it, because then it's too late, right? Like, the follicles are dead at that point, right? And it's much harder to go back from that point. It's like starting to exercise when you realize you have a health problem, right? Like, when you have a health issue and you have to start exercising, when you have a heart issue or you're like obese or something, or you have some like serious health problem, it's already too late. You want to start exercising before to prevent you from getting that bad. So she was like, dude, I think you should just do it. It's fine. Just take it. I did a lot of my own research. I was really worried about post-finasteride syndrome, which is like this kind of depression stuff that can come up. But from what she said, as a dermatologist, was like, look, I've had thousands of patients on this, and I've basically never seen this actually happen in the wild. And if you look at Reddit, obviously, like, Reddit draws the horror stories. Anything draws the horror stories, right? We have millions of people on these medications. There's going to be horror stories. They also don't even know if it's from the medication, right? Because it doesn't show up in the clinical trials. It only shows up on Reddit and stuff like that, right? And it's hotly debated. So for those reasons, I was like, obviously there's a risk. There's a risk of other things like different side effects. I was like, whatever, I think it's worth keeping my hair. So that's why I hopped on oral finasteride to stop it.
If you start taking finasteride, can you reverse any of the damage already done?
For the hair loss?
Yeah.
Okay, so finasteride stops, finasteride freezes your hair loss, right?
Okay.
It stops it from getting worse. Like, you take finasteride, you're stopped. Like, it's halted your hair loss. Minoxidil regrows the hair. So finasteride stops the hair loss because it blocks DHT, right? Which is like dihydrotestosterone, which goes into the hair follicle and then kills the hair follicle. So it just blocks that conversion, so you just will not lose your hair. And then you take minoxidil to actually grow back the damage that's been done.
I see. Yeah, I haven't even started treatment, but my balding is pretty bad already. It might be worse than yours.
I think it is worse than mine.
Yeah, wait, let me
I think
see.
you're higher testosterone than mine. I can't see it.
This is what it is.
No, it looks fine from this angle. No, I can't really see it. It's pretty thin.
You can see my scalp. Look.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. Oh, whoa. I can see your scalp.
You
Yeah.
can see my scalp.
The viewer would. Oh, yeah, I can see it now. The viewer will not be able to actually see anything here. Also, if you're a listener, Aldo's showing his scalp right now. He's kind of messing around with his hair.
Yeah, dude, you can see my scalp. Look at this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's pretty bad. I've like started wearing this hat because I'm thin.
The red. That hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, I probably will have to start taking finasteride too then.
Dude, the real. I think you should just hop on finasteride. I think you should just move on and take it. It's the most. It's millions of people have taken it. It's the most clinically proven one. Ali Abdal's on finasteride. Andrew Schultz is on finasteride. Like, it's fine. And the side effects can be reversed by stopping it. So if you experience any side effects, you can just stop.
Okay.
So one idea I had here is like, I have a friend. I'm not going to mention who it is, but he's balding, right? Pretty seriously. And when I asked him, like, why don't you hop on finasteride? He said, dude, I want to be natural. Like, I don't want to ruin it. Like, I just want to like naturally. It seemed like he thought it was kind of like a cheat. It's like, why would I do that? I just want to be natural. Like, let nature nature take its course, right? And I think that's a very flawed mindset. And I think the larger principle here is there is no value or ego in how you do something, really. What matters is the end result for things like this.
Yeah, I agree, actually, yeah.
It's like, who cares whether you're on some medication or you're doing a red light hat or you're doing, dude, you're bald or you're not bald. Like, that's what matters, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if obviously the medication causes side effects,
Yeah,
then
sure,
that matters.
fine.
But
Side
I agree,
effects
like,
matters.
The end state matters. Yeah.
I think a similar example is our little brother just got into medical school a few days ago. And our philosophy with him was we should pay for every possible resource we can get to maximize his odds of getting into medical school. Because a lot of people do a gap year. He didn't want to do a gap year. He wanted to go straight to medical school. If you do a gap year, in theory, you've lost $500,000 to $600,000 because that's what a doctor earns in 1 year, right? A fully fledged doctor. You've lost that. You've lost that money. So shouldn't you invest something into preventing you having a gap year? And even better, he got an $80,000 scholarship, which like that already wiped out every dollar we invested into med school coaching anyway in terms of tuition because he did so well in the MCAT and his application. But there's a lot of people out there who have an ego, which is like, oh, I didn't use any resources to get in, or I just don't want to do that because it's like quote unquote cheating or using extra. Not everybody has those resources. I don't want to use them. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Also, I don't know if he wants us talking about this, but anyway.
I think he's fine. I don't think he cares.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's just very obvious. Like, the only thing that matters is the end result of what happens. Like, who cares how you get there? Dude,
Yeah,
if you
who
study
cares?
10 hours, you study 2 hours, it's like, just the end result is, do you get there or not? Right?
Yeah. I think a lot of people have like an ego
Dude, like,
with working hard.
if your main goal is to do well in the MCAT, if you learn the 95.5 and you get like you get a good score, but you don't really understand everything, if your goal wasn't even to understand everything in the first place, your goal was just to do on the MCAT, then you've achieved your goal, right? You got there.
Yeah, it's
It
fine.
doesn't matter. Yeah.
I think a similar thing is in medicine, there's DOs versus MDs. And the MD schools are harder to get into, and there's DO schools. But at the end of the day, both are doctors, right? So, like, if you're saying, I'm not going to apply to any DO schools because my ego is too big, right? You're screwing yourself over. Just be realistic. It doesn't matter how you do it. The end result is you are a doctor, right? So I think more people should focus on stop worrying about like the means of how you do something and just be like, I want to get to this outcome. What matters is that I get to that outcome.
As long as the outcome is the same, if you're considering different means, right? Like for the finasteride example, if the outcome is that you get like depression, then obviously the outcome is not the same.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
But it's not because of the depression. It's like some people, okay, for example, some people don't want to use a coach at the gym because they're like, no, you should be able to do that yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what? It makes no sense. Like, just pay a guy to tell you what to do and move on. Right? Like, there's no value in doing anything yourself. You realize that, right? Like, nobody's going to pat you on the back and be like, good on you. You're like jacked because you did it yourself. Like, if there's two guys standing next to each other, one guy took 10 years to become muscular because he didn't use any help, and another guy got jacked in 4 years because he had coaches, he had creatine, he had good protein powder, he had a lifting belt, he had lifting shoes, he had an incredible gym membership, and he was consistent because of all that stuff, right? Nobody's patting the guy on the head and being like, good job, because you took way longer. What matters is that he just wasted all of his time and effort and got to the same outcome.
Yeah, no one's congratulating you on getting big without creatine, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, there's no awards for hard work.
Yeah.
Name one award that's award for hard work.
The only reward is for outcomes.
Yeah. All that matters in life is the result you produce. No award for hard work. No award for time spent.
Yeah.
No one's going to hand you a
Dude,
trophy
like,
for wasting your time.
Dude, if some guy like figures out whatever, like how to buy the next like big meme coin, they like knew Doge was going to rip after Trump got elected. They like dumped their money into it, made $10 million. Good on them. Doesn't even matter that you work 100 years, you won't make that money, right?
Yeah.
Good on them.
Good on them.
Doesn't matter.
That's what matters is the outcome.
Matters is the outcome. They got the outcome.
Yeah.
They didn't work for it, but they got the outcome. And that's really kind of all that matters. Right?
Dude, I think people overfixate on like the quote unquote working for things. Like, dude, no one cares whether you worked for it or not. Just get the outcome and move on. Like, that's all that matters. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something I've thought a lot about is like, dude, nobody cares how you did something, what you do. Just what matters is that you are a doctor, right? You are a millionaire now. Right? There's no virtue in just sitting there toiling away, struggling, pain. There's no value in pain. No one's going to give you an award for pain. What matters is the result at the end of the day.
Yeah, but caveat is that like a lot of the times the means change the result, right? So for example, with the crypto example, maybe it's some like 19-year-old kid who like gets lucky, figures out how to make a few million on crypto, but they haven't really developed the character of like being highly competent in some area, right? But that outcome is different, right? If you take that route of becoming highly competent and then making that money when you're older, your late 20s, early 30s, right? The outcome is fully different. Like the outcome is not only the money you make, right?
Yeah.
We're arguing like if the outcome is literally the same, there's no value in like taking a more painful, hardworking way.
I will say like a perfect example of what you're saying here is taking steroids in the gym. Like I could say so on trend.
Let's say they come up with a version of steroids that has 0 side effects.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you take it?
Dude, you should be on steroids if there's essentially creatine is that. Obviously it's not as powerful as like normal steroids, right? But it adds like 1 to 2 pounds of muscle if you take it consistently year by year by year for the most part, right?
Yeah.
And it helps with sleep and it helps with your brain and memory and stuff too, right? So nobody's gonna pat you on the back being like, good boy, you put on muscle without creatine, right? Dude, nobody's gonna congratulate you for that.
Dude, same thing with Ozempic and weight loss, right?
Dude, perfect example.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give you a little cookie for losing weight the right way without Ozempic, right? Just take the Ozempic and move on. I think Dr. Mike Israetel's takes on Ozempic are very good.
I mean, he probably has this very similar take. It's like, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, he's like, dude, being fat is like so bad. Just take the Ozempic and move on. He also talks about how like everybody's going to be on these kind of like drugs in the future. He's a very futurist kind of guy.
Yeah.
No, if anybody's like against Ozempic, I just think it makes no sense at all for the most part. Obviously there are side effects, but like it's a miracle drug and I think there's no value in like losing it the right way. Like people would roast celebrities who take Ozempic and they lost weight through that. It's like, dude, you're fat. Just take the Ozempic and move on. Do you have any recs for the audience? Anything you want to leave them with?
Recommendations? Let me see. Dude, so I haven't looked at Hamza in like probably a good year more. They just went on his channel. It sounds like Sam and him have some beef or something.
Dude, I saw
like
that. Okay, so basically they were best friends, right?
Yeah.
And then they fell apart for like a few years. And then they became friends again. And now they like hate each other or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with
Dude, I'm done with this. I don't watch him anymore. Like, this is kind of useless, honestly. Like,
I don't watch this guy anymore.
Yeah, this is kind of
used to watch Hamza every day.
Yeah, I used to love Hamza. Basically, I realized what you've been telling me, which is like, number one, he actually doesn't know anything about scaling a business beyond the point where I'm at to the point I want to get. That's one. Two is that he's not in a relationship, but he doesn't know anything about how to actually maintain relationships in life.
Yeah.
So why am I watching him every day?
This is very obvious. Like, why are you watching some guy who has no idea what he's talking about?
Yeah, he has no clue what he's talking about.
He has pontificating, but he has no clue what he's talking about.
Yeah, he literally has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here.
Dude, I've been watching some more Fern.
Oh yeah, Fern.
I watched one about North Korea. I watched one about the animals in Chernobyl.
I think there was a good Fern about the Charlie Kirk shooting, right?
Oh yeah. Dude, then I saw the Ear Biscuits episode where they talked about quitting it. And then I also watched Demis Hassabis on Lex Friedman. That was
I have one. So there's a guy named David Senra who runs this podcast called Founders. And that podcast is really good. He went on Tim Ferriss. Essentially, he reads like all the biographies on a founder and then makes like a consolidated like 60 to 90 minute episode with like the greatest takeaways from like this person's life. And he recently started a podcast under his name called David Senra, where he just interviews like incredible CEOs and founders. So this guy interviewed Daniel Ek, the CEO of Spotify, and then Michael Dell was episode 2. So he's just kind of like going through his network of all these guys and interviewing it. And it's put on by the Huberman Podcast Network. So Huberman produced the episode or the show. So I'd recommend that.
I don't know Huberman produces.
Yeah, it's called SciShow. And they produced Lane Norton as well. So then they gave Lane Norton a podcast.
Dude, Michael Dell is only 60?
Yeah.
I thought he was like 90 or something.
Yeah, I thought he was old too.
I thought it was like, he just seemed like an old guy.
Yeah, Michael Dell, Hewlett Packard. Yeah. Also, I think Andy Galpin got a podcast through Huberman as well. SciShow.
Oh, nice.
Maybe it's not SciShow. It's something else. It's like another channel. But yeah, they have a podcast network. All right, I think that's it for today. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on next week in Entropy.
See ya.